Okay, we're back at it on the 15th here on Saturday, day after Valentine's Day. Making that shelf that we were talking about yesterday. We got us some 060 aluminum. We actually bent a piece to make sure that it was bendable. This stuff's really soft, and the problem with it being soft and pliable is after running around gratting and vibrating and bouncing around, it's probably going to bust. It'll probably crack in half eventually. So what I'm going to do after I take this out and show you what it looks like and how I got to this point is we'll make a couple of these pieces where these clamps are. Let me get the light in there. Where the clamps are just kind of mocking it, holding the cardboard bit in place. Let me see if I can get the light to come on. Here we go. You see they're bent under. We couldn't bend it over up toward that bolt simply because it curves. There's not enough room there. And we want to get two fasteners on it so when we take this off, because way down in front there, that's going to be a giant tab. It's going to have a little tweak in it, and it's going to end up blending in underneath here. So we'll have a fastener here. I didn't want a fastener way up here because you got your numbers and your graphics, but we are going to have a fastener here. So we take this one off, each one of those off, all these off. This comes off the trails. If it's got two pieces of hardware on each little leg here that hold it to the brackets, then it should theoretically stay in place. It might bow a little bit, but at least it won't fall off because we're going to have the e-box on there and our battery pack, and I'll show you all that stuff in a minute as well. How did we get to this point? Well, we start with what we have to put on it. This is our 2200 amp hour battery, which should be 2200 means it should run 2.2 hours. It's a 14.8 volt battery. We got two of these on eBay for $36. Yes, they're Chinese, but John West uses the same brand, a bigger battery pack, to run the ignition on his 250 Twin, and he hasn't had any trouble with these. So we start out with what we have to package up there, and then we work from a base. So we knew with the tape measure, measuring across the two brackets, that it was about 8 inches. So we started with the very thin what do you call it? Not paperboard. I guess it's paperboard. It's actually a cereal box. It's a Lucky Charm box, right? There he is. So we start out with that, and it was square, and we worked it up in there. The very corners of these very front corners were the right distance or span across here, but they obviously weren't on the right angle for those brackets. So you start with a base piece. This is the wonderful thing about working with paper is the media is real forgivable. I cut 2-3 different wedges until I got it right, and then you tape them in place to simulate it being all one piece, and then you put it in here and you fit it up and you see how it fits. When you get it in a working position, then you transfer it to the Gain laundry soap box, which is, it'll stay straight, flat, square, where this stuff is kind of flimsy, and then it gives you a little bit better idea of how things are going to fit. Again, you're going to fit these pieces in. Now the extra piece on the cereal box is now one piece on the cardboard, but we had to fit these in afterwards, and it ends up working out pretty well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with one hand. Yeah, we were almost had it. Here we go. Not bad, Lawson. So we'll end up getting it, straight this way once we bend it up. And this is, like I said, it will have a slight bend to it like this, where it'll come in and transition into here. No big deal. Once we get this thing in place, get it drilled for little bolts or whatever, pop rivets. I don't know what we'll use there, but probably little bolts. We'll go ahead and bend pieces of steel to probably put in place at the racetrack. Eventually, we're going to have to do that. I want to just get it bent. If it bends, it looks okay. The bends look okay because they're more than, I only bent this 90, but they have to be more than 90 actually. So, you know, it's hard to say. We'll go ahead and bend it and try it, but we'll probably end up cutting them off and putting a steel piece in. Maybe we'll bond it and rivet it onto here. I don't know. We'll have to work that out later. But at this point, we're ready to transfer to our 060 aluminum. We didn't really need anything any thicker or heavier than that just to hold this stuff in place, right? So I just wanted to show you how you basically just start with the first measurement, the span across those brackets. Then you take it to a piece of paper, you set the things that you need to mount on there on the paper within that width of span, and the train gets on the tracks and it starts rolling down the road. I don't know. No one taught me how to do this. I didn't go to school to learn to make patterns and stuff. It's a gift. It just came to me. I guess some of it got refined maybe. This is unorthodox. What I just told you, the way I would have made a bracket. Some professional pattern maker is going to look in here and say, oh, what a fruitcake, that guy is just dumb luck, he knows what he did. You know, whatever. As long as you get to the end of the railroad tracks, you get to the destination, and it's clean and it's proper, it's nice. What's the difference? How the procedure you use to get there, right? It doesn't really much matter. But again, I went to school for a lot of things, but pattern making wasn't one of them. It's just something I picked up in prototypes. Sheet metal, being a sheet metal model maker, you have to be able to look at something and have a picture in your head of what needs to be done, and then you just start doing it, man. You know, and like I said, you have to start out with some measurements and some dimensions, you know, to be able to park this stuff on there in a way that everything's gonna fit, right? So no big deal. It's not rocket science. It's not going to the moon. It's just a go-kart. We'll go ahead and transfer this and get it cut out. We'll get it bent up, and maybe we'll even get it mounted, and then we'll bring you back and show you. Maybe we'll have this stuff sitting up in there too. Who knows? But there you go. Saturday afternoon. It's roasty warm in here, man. I had to shut the heat off. I mean, look at it. It's 80 degrees up there where them tires are at, man. I don't need this hat on, but you don't want to get a look at my ugly mug. We'll bring you back. An A and B today. A and B on Saturday. Hang in there, y'all. It's getting better. We're getting there. See you soon.